Alright, hi everybody, welcome back to programming at Girls in the Game. Today we are going to be talking about stereotypes, and we're going to be doing some activities to move around a little bit. I'm Coach Callie, and I'm going to be leading the session today. So before we begin, if I could have everyone, if you're joining us today, just please text your name and your school to the number listed in the description. I can also put it in the chat if that's easier for people. So the number is 312-869-2729. So again, you can just send your name and your school of the participant to that number, just so we can take attendance for today. All right, and let's start like we usually do by going over the 5-finger contract. So our first finger is the pinky, which stands for safety. So like I said, we will not be sharing any of our personal information on anywhere online while we're doing online programming. So that could be your school, your name, where you are right now. We just want to keep that to ourselves to be as safe as possible. The next finger is the ring finger, which stands for commitment. So that means we are going to commit to trying every activity that's presented to the best of our ability. We are going to participate in the comments if we want, and we're going to commit to trying to show up every week or as often as we can. The next finger is the middle finger, which stands for respect. So we're going to promise to not write anything negative in the comments. We are going to follow the directions of the coach just like we would if we were in person. And if we are joining our team time, we're not going to talk over one another during our discussions. Next, we have the pointer finger, which stands for teamwork. So we're going to promise to work together by writing supportive comments, maybe in the chat. We are going to maybe we can encourage one another in the chat. We can work together with other people in our houses right now. You can invite your friends or your family to join you if you want, so that they can participate in the activities as well. And then the last finger is the thumb, which stands for fun. So we're going to remember that even though we might be trying new things, we're trying this new virtual type of programming, this is still a place where we can have fun and work together, and yeah, we're going to try our best to still have fun even though we can't be in person. All right, so let's just start off and get moving a little bit. So we're going to stretch first. So I'm going to turn around over here. And first, let's just do some nice big arm circles. And go the other way. And let's take our arm across our body and hook it with our other arm for a nice big stretch. And the other arm. Let's put our elbow back and hold it with our other hand. And the other arm. All right, let's stretch our legs behind us, try to balance. And the other leg. Okay, and then let's stretch to the side. nice and big. And the other side. And let's go down to the middle. All right, awesome. So that was just some light normal stretching. So before we move on to our main activities today, we're also going to do some dynamic stretching, which is where we move around a little bit more. So you can try along with these activities. So let's do some running in place. Just nice and slow. Just stay right where you are. And then we can go a little faster. And as fast as you can. Okay, now let's try some high knees. So you're gonna lift your knees up in front of you as high as you can. And try it a little faster. All right, awesome. And if you need to get water during any of this, that's perfectly okay. Next, we're going to jump side to side. So you're going to keep your feet together and jump to each side. All right, awesome. Now, let's do another one side to side. Let's shuffle. So you're going to move across the room. Go to the right and back to the left. And let's do that a couple more times. All right, nice. Let's see, we could also do some lunges. So you're going to get step forward and make sure your back knee hits the ground. And then you can do that all the way across. And then go back. And one more time. All right, nice. Let's try similar to high knees. You're going to take your knee up and hit it with your opposite elbow. All right, so you can try that as slow or as fast as you want. All right, let's do it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then how about we do some jumping jacks? So let's say we can do 15 jumping jacks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, good job, everybody. Let's turn that around. If you need to get some water, you can get some water. Okay, so today, like I said earlier, we are going to talk about stereotypes. So does anyone know what the word stereotypes means? If you do, you can type it in the chat, or if you know an example of one, you can type it. So I'll say the definition that I found. So a stereotype is an idea or a belief that a person might have about a thing or a group of people based on how they look on the outside. So it's a belief about a thing or a group of people based on how they look on the outside. And those beliefs might be a little bit true, like some people in that group might have that thing true about them, or it might not be true at all. So some of you may have heard or learned that stereotyping is a kind of prejudice, because we know that what is on the outside is only a small part of who a person actually is. And it's what's inside them that really makes them an individual and makes them the person that they are. So stereotypes can actually be positive or negative. So an example of a positive one might be that everyone who is tall is good at basketball, which isn't necessarily true. There are a lot of tall people who are good at basketball, but I'm sure we all know someone who's very tall who doesn't play basketball. And that's not a bad stereotype, but it's still a stereotype. Another one might be that if someone wears glasses, that means they're really smart and they always get straight A's, which, again, probably isn't true. And that is a positive stereotype, but if someone does have glasses and they don't always get straight A's, then they might feel bad because they are not following what other people think of them. So those are positive ones. Negative stereotypes are what would be considered bad things about people. So it might be that all people with blonde hair are not smart, which isn't true because your hair color doesn't determine how smart you are. Or another one might be that girls don't like math or are bad at math. So you probably know that's not true. Even if you don't like math, you probably know girls that do like math, and you know boys that don't like math. So negative stereotypes like these might be used to make fun of someone or to discriminate against another person to make them not feel part of the group. And even positive stereotypes, which seem really good, they can ignore the uniqueness of individuals within a group, and that's also a bad thing. So how do people think that stereotypes are formed? If you can think of a way where you might learn stereotypes, you can put it in the chat. Some examples that I thought up were you might learn them from things you see on TV. So if there's a character in a show or a movie or even on a commercial and they're always displaying the same traits, that could form a stereotype in your mind. If you read different things in books, that could become a stereotype. And it could also come from things that you hear from your friends or from adults in your life. So stereotypes are mostly formed when you lack knowledge about other people. So if you are always hearing from an adult that you know that this other group of people has something bad about them, and you don't know anyone from that group of people, you're probably going to believe what that adult says without ever getting to know someone from that group. So I mentioned earlier a few examples about how stereotypes can be about boys and girls. So we're going to do a quick activity to learn about the different stereotypes and characteristics that are usually associated with girls or with boys. So I'm going to read a list of characteristics, and I want you to think about if this is usually associated with boys, with girls, or with both groups. So don't think about what's actually true. Think about which group you most commonly shown maybe on TV having that characteristic. Okay, so I want you to think about the answer. If you know it for any of them, you can type it in the chat. So I'm just going to read the whole list and then talk about it afterwards. All right, so these characteristics might be pretty, short, smart, tall, strong, funny, loud, a cheerleader, quiet, emotional, athlete, weak, or clumsy. So, out of all of those characteristics, the ones that I think are usually about boys would probably be tall, strong, funny, loud, and athlete. So those are usually what we think of when you think of a stereotype about boys. When you think of girls, the stereotypes from that list are usually pretty, cheerleader, quiet, emotional, and weak. And then some of those words that could be both would be short, smart, and clumsy. So those were a couple of different words in the 3 different groups, but in reality, the characteristics that could be shared by both groups are all of them. So I'm sure we all know girls who are loud and funny. We know boys who might be more quiet. We know girls that are athletes. So girls and boys can be any of the things on those lists. And you don't have to believe what the stereotypes are. So instead of looking at someone like a boy or a girl that you know and making judgments based on stereotypes, a good way to get to know them and recognize that they are an individual is to accept that people are unique. People from the same group are not all the same, and you can take the time to get to know what they're actually like and let them get to know you. So you might want to ask them some questions, spend time with them, and share about who you are. So now that we have talked about different stereotypes of girls and boys, we are going to think about what might be our own characteristics. So we're going to do an activity. Some of you might have already done this in person at Girls in the Game. If we were in person, we would give you a worksheet to fill out, but for now you'll just have to make your own. So if you want to get a piece of paper and something to write with. So this worksheet is called I Am Not a Stereotype. So you're going to get a piece of paper, and at the top you would write I am not a stereotype. And then underneath that you would write I am ... So on this sheet you are going to brainstorm characteristics about yourself, and then you're going to write them down. So these could be qualities that you have, different abilities, something that you're good at, a hobby, something that you like, something that you don't like, and all of that is going to go on the piece of paper. So I'm going to start writing on mine. So I am, let's see, I am a coach. That's something that I do. Something that I am good at. I'm going to say I have good handwriting. I think that's something good about myself. Good handwriting. Something I like. I am a tennis player. I like playing tennis. Okay. And you can fill up the whole page. I'm sure you can think of a bunch of things about yourself. Let's see, I have a list here that I can pull from. So let's see. Some different ones you could say are active. That's a good one. I'm going to put that on mine. Active, carefree, clever, cautious, confident. Maybe you are eager, generous, hardworking, funny, intelligent, a leader, mature. Any of these things can be examples of what you can put on your sheet. So let's see. I liked active, cautious, hardworking, let's see, easygoing, smart, and strong. So those are just some of the different things I could think of. I'm sure if I spent some time, I could think of a lot more. Oh, hi, Jayla. So if you can think of any characteristic that is about you, you can type it in the chat and let me know. Or you can just think of them and write them down. So once you actually make your list, you can keep it and put it somewhere, hang it up, and use it to remind yourself that you are not a stereotype. You have a lot of qualities that make you unique, and you can be any of these things that you want to be. So if you're ever in a situation where someone thinks of you as a stereotype, you can talk with them about what makes you unique. If you are ever seeing another person treated like a stereotype, you should try to stand up for them. Remember that they are an individual too, and they probably have a lot of things that make them unique. And it's important to help them feel included with other people. So if you do that for other people, you can help eliminate stereotypes in your school or in your community and not make judgments of other people, and instead you can get to know them. All right, so that is the last activity I had for today. Thanks, Jayla. Thank you for joining us. So like I said earlier, if you came in a little late, you might have missed it, but if you joined our session today, you can text your name and your school to the number that I listed. It's going to be 312-869-2729. And that's just so we know who was in attendance today. But yeah, thank you for joining our virtual programming. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to join tomorrow, Coach Stephanie will be doing another session at 2 o'clock. And you can just follow that same link that I sent you to find it. For those of you that will be joining our team time sessions today, you can follow the link that we provided in our email, or you can go to girlsinthegame.org/virtual, and you can find all the links there. And if you want to find more videos of activities that we've done, you can go to our Facebook page, our Instagram, our YouTube page, and find a bunch of more videos there. But thank you for joining today. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I will see you next week or at team time. Thank you. Bye.